We had a meeting, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, with the State Secretary, Council of Ministers, and during that meeting, my colleague, Minister Emmanuel, said something, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know if this was his exact words, but he said, when elephants fight, they trample the grass. And that is where the consequences where we are today and the whole confusion that came around surrounding the hurricane. The hurricane itself caused tremendous damage to St. Martin, but the post-hurricane events equally, to the extent where we would be having possibly once this caretaker government step down, we will be having 2 other governments before we can get things back stable, because we will be having an interim government, and after the elections we would be having a government. So we would be, in a space of a couple of months, and a half year, we would have been dealing with 3 different governments. I don't see how that could be good for St. Martin or the people of St. Martin. Nevertheless, it has been a democratic process that has been followed. There would be those who agree with the process and those who would disagree with the process. So I'm sure that the discussions as to what led up to me being able to be introduced as the Prime Minister today, that those discussions will continue for some time to come. I think we have written constitutional history. As was already stated, a situation like this never took place nor in the Netherlands nor in the Caribbean part of the kingdom. So a lot still will be said about that issue. At hand now would be the continuation of the process to help St. Martin recover from the devastating hurricane. Whether it is 1 week, 1 month, whatever, that I would have the honor to chair the Council of Ministers, that is what I would like to concentrate on. I would like to concentrate on getting things moving, getting St. Martin back up and running, and therefore I would like to call on all parties. And when I say all parties, I mean all parties. And it is not a situation where we can say St. Martin versus the Dutch. I think us on St. Martin also, all parties on St. Martin, should step up to the plate. I know there are elections that are going to be upcoming and the political rhetoric is going to be high. Nevertheless, we should take a minute and reflect on the things that we have been saying. All sides, every time we come up with an argument or we do something, we motivate it by saying it is in the best interest of the people of St. Martin. That's what we do. Whether it pertains to the decisions that are made in the Council of Ministers in Holland, in the Kingdom Council of Ministers in Holland, or the decisions that are made in Parliament, or the decisions that are made in this building, we all motivated, stating it's in the best interest of the people of St. Martin. We are doing it for the people of St. Martin. Now, I would like to call on all parties to remember that. And let's move forward with only one goal, and that goal should be doing what we have to do in the interest of the people of St. Martin. Having said that, I met with State Secretary Knops on Monday, and we had a lengthy first one-on-one conversation, and thereafter with the Council of Ministers. I labeled those meetings as fruitful, frank, and sincere. I called on the State Secretary, who identifies himself as a person who, as a former military man, wants to get things done. A man who, he says that when he makes a promise, he lives up to that promise. But also a man who expects, when a promise is made, that it is also lived up to. And in that regard, we are about the same. And if we leave during the recovery period those political differences off the table and concentrate on how we can move forward, then I'm sure that we will be able to get things started and to get things done. The conditions that were set by the Netherlands are known, they are on the table. One of those conditions basically have already been finalized, and we are very close to finalizing the last conditions, which we will be working on and making sure that our document gets to Parliament as quick as possible. So now we have to move forward in seeing how we are going to start tackling the tremendous tasks that we have ahead of us. But I also want to try to manage expectations, because sometimes when we hear the talks outside, we're talking about this bag of money that is going to, at a certain moment, hang over us and open, and everyone can run and pick up what they need to do, what they need to do. And that's not how it's going to work. We would have to identify, and when I say we, not only government, but in conjunction with the social partners and the different organizations, we have to identify those projects that are necessary for the rebuilding of St. Martin, and not just rebuilding, but making St. Martin rebuilding better, and getting our economy back up and running. Those type of projects would have to be identified, and then the financing would take place. Last week I was also in New York, where I attended a conference organized by the CARICOM and the UN, which was a pledging conference in order to assist those countries in the Caribbean that were hit by the hurricane to be able to raise funds to get back up and running, to deal with their recovery. One thing has been obvious at that conference. St. Martin, because of its unique position within the kingdom, where we are a country, but we are not independent, we are autonomous, a situation that the majority of the international community still have a problem understanding. It puts us in a rather tight situation. The situation is where, for instance, you would have noticed that at that conference, a majority of the pledges were geared towards those countries that are that were hit, but that are independent countries. And our ties, St. Martin has requested a long time ago associate membership within the CARICOM, but that has not been finalized. And because we don't have those formal ties with these organizations in the Caribbean, while we are known as one of the major destinations in the tourism world in the Caribbean, it still would seem that on that level we are not part of the Caribbean, because it is assumed that you're part of the Netherlands, not even the kingdom, you're part of the Netherlands. So, like in this case, you would need us because they will take care of you.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
State Secretary Knops, welcome to St. Martin. Can you give us an idea of what your visit has been like so far?
Yeah, I encountered a lot of hospitality so far with this beautiful island, but my main purpose of the travel was making contact with both officials and the normal people of St. Martin to see how they suffer from the huge disaster from the hurricane and what the effects are. And as you know, we made the decision in the Dutch government to spend 550 million euros for the reconstruction of St. Martin. And my purpose of the travel is to see how we can put this in place as soon as possible, because I think the main issue at the moment is how we can be effective on a short base, on a short notice.
Can you give an explanation of how that 550 million euros will be dispersed to St. Martin?
Yeah, I understand your question, and I had a meeting today with the governor, with the prime minister, with the council of ministers, and this issue came on the table every time. And I understand. We are waiting now for the decision of the Staten of St. Martin for the integrity chamber. So that's the final step we have to make, and afterwards we can go on. And the way we divide this money and to which projects will be mainly based on what the government of St. Martin is proposing, because they know the needs of the people best, and I really would like to involve them in making the prioritizing. And how we do it in detail, we will work out together with the governor of St. Martin and the World Bank. And I'll do my best in The Hague to get all the people in the right direction to deliver.
How do you reassure the people of St. Martin that the money that's coming from The Hague and the conditions that come along with it is not in a wrapped package takeover, so to speak, by the Netherlands?
No. I understand, but we are absolutely not taking over. That's the wrong idea. That's a misunderstanding. I'm very straightforward in this. We want to help the people of St. Martin. They suffer most. That's the reason we made the decision 2 weeks ago already to give this amount of money to St. Martin, and we will on an equal base negotiate, discuss, so to say, with the government how to spend the money best and effectively as soon as possible. And that's the mission, and therefore I'm here. And so far I've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot of damage, and no time to lose, I would say. Action.
We have had the instruction given to the governor by the Kingdom Council of Ministers to basically execute the dismissal of Prime Minister Marlin. Of course, he has since resigned. Does this now call into question how the Netherlands feels about our governor?
No, I had a lot of contact, phone calls with the governor in the last weeks, and I must say he's very committed to the St. Martin case. He feels responsible for what's happening, and I think he's an important player, as the Council of Ministers are, as the members of the Staten are, to solve the problems St. Martin faces. And I'm not interested, so to say, in political games or whatever. This is for St. Martin. I'm here to help, but we have clear conditions in advance made in order to spend the money effectively and transparent. And I really hope that also this visit, and so far with all the people I mentioned before, with the Prime Minister, the Governor, the Council of Ministers, I felt, let's say, a sense of reality and of commitment to work together. Me as a representative of the Dutch government, and they as elected representatives of the people of St. Martin.
Okay, one final question. You're going to tour the St. Martin Harbor today. What is the value of that tour?
Every tour is valuable because you meet people, you see with your own eyes what happened. I know that a few weeks before it was even more devastating. I see a lot of people already repairing their hotels, cleaning the streets, but there's a lot to do. And having these talks with the people that are affected are, for me, very worthwhile, because then I have not only the documents in which is said how worse it is, but also the own experiences and the own conversations. And that's what I like to do the upcoming days here on the island.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles from within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
So the meeting yesterday is probably to hear from yourselves what your presentation would have been today. So I think that I would commend her for doing that, because then at least she could prepare to see what you're doing. So again, like I said, it was well done, well prepared. I enjoyed your presentation. I heard well at the end of your plea, but I don't think it is your plea alone. It is the entire plea of St. Martin that wants to keep the university open. And if I will go on the limb, as long as I'm one of the 8, you can rest assured that we will do whatever it takes to keep the University of St. Martin open. You can trust and bet your last dollar on that one. It can't go down that the University of St. Martin closes its doors on the population of this country. It can't go down the University of St. Martin closes its doors on higher education for our young people, and that we want to also, your wording is correct, move our nation forward, importing mind power and brain power from abroad when we are not doing enough to train our own. With that said, I will say there's a serious difference of opinion between what you all have stated here today and what the minister has basically stated. And I generally don't listen to the press conferences, but I did this time because I wanted to hear again her position on the issue of the USM. And again, I could be wrong, and I always stand to be corrected, but in her presentation and also during the press conferences, she found it rather particular that she has offered her hand out to the university, and you all have more or less not accepted that hand. And I that is the sentiment that is coming out there, that you all have not done your best to keep the university open, and that government has done everything in its power to try and help the university out. I enjoyed your points of every letter nearly that you have sent to government, which I think gives a clear indication the willingness of the university and the position of the university, stating to several governments, of which even my name was up there as well, so to push this country or push the university forward. Now, one of the biggest points that I found very interesting is I've been hearing, the speculation of mismanagement of funds. And this to me is, I wouldn't want to use the word accusation, because you know how our society is right now. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, so it's not an accusation, but they're saying that the funds that have been used at the university are not in the right way being spent. I don't know in what way or what form or fashion, especially seeing that, to me, a university of the size that you all are and the kind of numbers that you're talking about to operate, you're only talking about $2.3 million, if that is what I'm saying. The annual overall cost to operate the University of St. Martin is $2.3 million, 4.1 million guilders. For the size of the university, I think, in my opinion, that is one heck of a job that you all have been doing with so little money, especially taking into account no real capital investment can be done in the university. One of the questions that I would have is that while you get a subsidy, and like you stated, also 10% of that is held back by government, and then you're stating, is it correct to state that the study finance is $674,000? Does that mean that University of St. Martin gets less for study financing than, for example, if we were to send a child to, let's call it UVI? Let's take out the room and board. I'm talking just the real tuition cost. Is that the case? Yeah, and then I would then believe that that's probably the case because you're a local institution. But, to me, I find that ironic that we would pay someone more abroad. Well, these days we are paying a lot of people abroad and not local, and that we wouldn't want to pay the local university more money to keep its doors open. Now, that being said, I also asked the minister that if funding or if the audited books or audits being done is and I know it is, because even as a political party, the cost to do an audit of your own books is, to me, nearly the amount that you collect in sometimes in donations is basically the same amount that you have to pay back in the audit. So the kind of audit that you all would do, more or less, what does it cost the university per year to audit its books? I'd like to, if you can tell me more or less what that would be, and it'd be the irony to hear what percentage of that monies that you get for subsidy is actually used in audits. And again, the other question would be, did you ask them, say, listen, the government of St. Martin has put certain conditions, can you then help us pre-finance the audits and then get the audits up to date so that you can have those kind of discussions also been a precursor? Or has it been that your books are just unauditable, that you are not able to get the audit being done? Because then the question about mismanagement of funds would then come to play, and then you would really get to the gist of the matter there is. In my opinion, again, I've stated it before, I don't see how government has really done everything in its hands to be able to help the University of St. Martin. And again, I'm not saying, this isn't like I don't have enough money to pay for potholes. I don't have enough money to do the annual, I don't know, Christmas party. This is the University of St. Martin. And if we can't find monies for the University of St. Martin to keep education going in St. Martin, then, in my opinion, and I will stop there before I become too emotional, but then we better just close up shop, because then who are we really walking or looking forward to?